back with Erin ZenWarrior again, just after a couple of our amazing conversations. Both of those are available on my podcast, The Good Girl Unleashed, and they're amazing. So you should watch them or listen to them if you haven't already. And today is our embodiment journey. So in the last conversation, we spoke about doing a practice, but we kind of rambled for a little bit. So we're back to jump straight into our embodiment journey. I'll hand over to Erin.
Cool. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So I'm just sort of also noting the size of my camera shape, etc. So bear with me. I'm going to do my best to show you whatever I can. I'm a big fan of movement to get us going into not moving. So what we're going to do is we're going to get up and we're going to do something very like Chinese traditional medicine, traditional martial art, and we're going to slap our bodies. So do your best to see what I'm doing, but feel free to ask any questions in the movement part if you need to. So we're going to stand up. Yeah, we can see me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to slap all along our bodies as much as we can. I'm actually going to ditch my sweater so that I can even slap at my skin. And if you're on your own, you could even do this naked. And I can use the flats of my hand, I can use fingertips if I'm looking for something more gentle, or I can use fists, any version I like, and I want to make sure that I'm going to tap everything that I can. Of course I was going to do that. And I like using my fist here into this with the kidneys on. So I make fists out of this and go up in here. And then I want to come around the sides, right into the lymphatic that's here. Up along the sides. Again, lymphatic and under the armpits. So you want to tune these, and again, you might want to use like a fist here or a slap or even just fingertips to tap along here. Some people are more sensitive than others, depending on how out of tune their body is, basically, or how in tune. Through the center, I usually go fingertips here or fists. Fingertips are quite nice right through that center part. And again, can be very sensitive, especially if you suffer from headaches and migraines. So all along here, all along the arms, back of the shoulder, back of the arm. It's a great way to wake up in the morning. And then, just throw my hair up, I'm going to run up the back of my neck here. Again, fingertips here is nicer. So I'm just coming through there, through the base of the skull. So through the occiput now, up through here, and around the ears, over the head. And for some who are a little bit more, who like to cartwheel on the heads, you might want to use your fists. You might want to use your fingertips. Less something I slap, I've got to say. Forehead. Cheekbones. Jawline. And then coming down the front, this big muscle here, if I expose it and tap it, this is very, it's a border in every movement pattern you have. This sternocleidomastoid, it's called, helps with your side bending, your twisting, your forward folding, your back bending. It's a border in all of it. A helical movement pattern. Awesome. And then I'm going to jiggle. So I want to get a bit of a jiggle on. So I've done that. Now I'm just going to allow jiggle. Now for those of you who can't jump, you can just up and down on your toes. If you want to jump, you can also get a little bit more into that. And from here I might jiggle a little bit more, shake my head around or push my arms out or get a bit more movement here. I quite like, I'm going to turn sideways, I quite like a pushing motion, throwing things out from my body, right? I'm making space by flicking off anything I want to flick off me. Take a big breath in, and a big breath all the way out through the mouth. And do that a few times. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. And now, the next breath, I'm going to kneel down, but then I'm going to stand back up and show you the whole picture. We're going to take the arms above the head, like this, and we're going to make a ha noise. Ha, 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 ha. And I'm going to jump as I do it, but you could do it from sitting if you need something lower impact. Or again, you can do it just from that up and down, that releve on the foot. So from here, ha, 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 ha. 10 more sounds. Ha, 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 ha. Take a big breath in, scoop up the ground. Squeeze every single muscle you have, hold the breath, release. Squeeze every single muscle as you scoop up and squeeze in. Release. One more breath in. Release. Awesome. We're going to bring it down to the ground and find our space. So, seeing how far I've got here. Like, where can I be? About there. A little tilt. Okay, cool. So, from here we're going to do a very, very easy kriya, and then we're going to come to sit. So whilst you come to the ground now, I just want you to take your time just to settle your breath first. So you're just going to take a moment and watch the breathing, close the mouth, and just keep it very internal, nose breathing. Slowing it down, you can close your eyes if you wish, or just relax them. So before we forward fold, we're going to do 7 R's. It's going to be our last little bit of noise before we go quiet properly. So 7 R's, you're going to take a big breath in, and then we want you to feel like below your belly button, so this dantian here, you're going to breathe your R out from there. So you want it kind of to reverberate all the way through. So it's very low origin of the sound. So I breathe in, and when I breathe out, way to the end of my breath. Breathe in again. Do it again. Again. Three more. And so that's our Kriya noise. Now we're going to do a Kriya fold. So I'm going to put my legs in like a diamond shape. Right, so they're in a diamond in front of me on the floor, and I've propped myself on a bolster, which is an option for you if you're not comfortable sitting here. But usually I would do this sitting on the floor. I've also done it so you can see me a little bit more. So when I do this, the secret is to hold the breath as you fold. And when I breathe, I'm always going to be upright and stacked. So I'm going to take my breath in, hold it and fold. And then when I take my breath out, it's going to be all stacked and sitting back upright. So this is done in your own time. And we're just going to do a few today. But if you were doing this at home on your own, I would recommend doing 7. And you can also play with a Paschimottanasana shape, so a straight-legged shape. We've gone with more that diamond shape today just because it's easier on everyone to start with. So I breathe all the way out, I prep the breath out, and I pause empty. When I breathe in, I breathe in from the base of the spine to the very top chakra, which is outside of the head. You are bigger than you think you are. So you're going to breathe in, and you're going to let it lift your spine up nice and tall. And then as you hold that breath, you're going to hinge forward from the hips. So that's nice and flat to start with. And then I'm going to drop my head all the way down. And right now you should be holding your breath if you're folding. So once I'm down here, I hold. And when I'm ready, when there's no more holding of the breath left available to me, I'm going to keep hold of that breath, sit up. And then very, very gently, I'm going to breathe out. And you want it to be imperceptible. You're not a child holding their breath over a bridge, exploding with, violence at the end of it with your breath. It's very, very internal, gentle sigh. You are the master here. So we're going to do 3. And I'm going to then lead into meditation. Don't worry whether you're sitting there or still folding. Just take your time and arrive at the meditation when you're ready. So 3 breaths, held and folded, and then sitting in whatever position is comfortable for you. Please don't lie down for this meditation. I'd prefer you to sit up. If you do need to lean on something, try not to let your head rest, okay? This is a practice in being awake, not asleep. So we breathe all the way out, all the way in, let it light you up. In your own time. Some of you may still be folded in your first one. That's perfectly fine. I'm trying to do a mid-range fold. So again, I'm going to breathe all the way out and really make sure I've emptied the cup. I breathe in, I let it lift up and stack my spine. And we do one more. When you have come to sit back up again, take a comfortable position with the head not resting on anything. Sometimes sitting on a bolster is best. If your knees really don't find the floor in a cross-legged position, I would recommend, and when I say find the floor, I mean they don't really relax down and they're sort of held up. I'd really recommend that you either sit on something or you find a different position. You don't want your body holding on while you're trying to relax, because you're going to get your body fighting you anyway. That's one of the tricks of the mind. So we come to sitting cross-legged. And we turn our palms up. Now, if you take a closed eye position, you're going to focus between your eyebrows into that third eye area. I do, however, welcome you relaxing your gaze and keeping your eyes open. This is a practice of being awake. Now, as you sit, we come to focus just on the movement of the breath. It's no longer contrived. It is the miracle that comes and goes without you interfering. Keeping an eye on that breath and just watching it rising and falling. We're going to shift our focus right down to the base of the spine. For me, when I breathe into this area, into the root chakra, there is always light. Some people find there's heat, so it depends on what you feel. But when I breathe in here, there is always light. And as I breathe into that, the light intensifies. And as I breathe out, that light spreads and dissipates all across the floor and outwards from my body. we start to move up. So we're going to move up the chakras towards the heart. The next chakra is sacral, that Dantian point just below the belly button. We're going to breathe into that area and just focus on that area. As we start to move up, I want you to notice that your body is not just a front point, it's a side point, a back point, that it's got a cylindrical quality. So when you breathe into that area, you breathe into it front and back and side. And as you breathe out, it spreads out. As you fall into hum, there's this real tendency for your body to want to waver. I want you to shut that down. Be still. Let that waver, that movement be internal only. As your body creaks and groans and aches and moans, resist the urge to shuffle or wriggle or adjust. This is the beginning. The beginning of your mind trying to trick you from your stillness. Tell it to stay. You are the master. We move up to the solar plexus. Energy of all things, the emotional center. We breathe in, expand, and feed the energy for movement. And as we breathe out, let all that energy spread. Breathe in, charge it up. As your mind starts to wonder about what it needs to do next, come back to the breath. It's just a tricky little thought that does not matter right now. Before we step to that heart chakra, I'm going to take a note of your face. Are you carrying a miserable, serious face right now? The Buddhas that killed Christ. A slight lift to those cheeks. It is a joy to sit. It is a pleasure to be with yourself and be present with all that you are. And as we step up to the heart, we breathe in and we expand. Front, back, sides, up, down, above and below. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, let it spread out. stay with this. You are so much bigger than you think you are. Draw the energy up from the base of the spine into the heart. Stay with the heart, but let the energy go up and out. Any noises in the outside world become useful, testing your ability to stay, giving you an opportunity to watch your frustration with the noise, your ease at moving away from breath and heart. Pull it back. It's just practice. And as we step into that moment where you feel the hum is really present, there's an opportunity to create. I want you to remember a time when you felt completely, totally, and truly loved. A child laughing in the sunlight, a lover's embrace, stepping your foot into crisp ocean water on a hot day. A moment when everything fell into place and existence embraced you totally. You to hold that moment in your mind. And now we get creative. What does that moment physically feel like in your body? And I want you to pull the physicality of the emotion into your body. I want it to permeate every cell. Stay with the moment. Stay with the emotion. Always using the breath as your base. As you practice this emotion, I want you to remember it. I want you to vow that all day you're going to check back in for a moment and pull this feeling into your body. You're going to practice it. Invite it to permeate your whole life. When we're ready, we bring our palms together and our thumbs to touch our chest in a prayer mudra. And there are two things that we can say to the universe. Thank you and help me. Today, I'm going to ask that the universe helps me to practice this emotion and to remember. And I'm going to thank it for all the grace that it gives me every day. But I invite you, as you bow your head, to ask your own help and give your own thanks. And as we bring our thumbs to our forehead, when we're ready, we give thanks to ourselves for coming to sit. We give thanks to those that join us and those that may watch this later and add to this collective energy. And we give thanks to all those energies that sit with us, seen and unseen. And when we're ready, we come back to the room.